Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's severe weather update. So, we have a slight risk of severe weather today across eastern South Carolina, central eastern North Carolina, into southeastern Virginia in the yellow today, as well as the far southeastern corner of Florida, including Miami, Wilmington, Raleigh, and Virginia Beach. We have a marginal risk in the dark green surrounding that, extending into Maryland, Delaware, and southern New Jersey. And looking at today's tornado threat, we have a 5% chance of tornadoes touching down within 25 miles of a location across eastern North Carolina, southeastern Virginia, as well as southeastern Florida. So make sure you're preparing for a few scattered tornadoes if you live across the Florida Keys, Miami, as well as Wilmington, Raleigh, and Virginia Beach. We have a 2% chance of tornadoes touching down within 25 miles of a location in the green areas surrounding that. So make sure you're preparing for an isolated tornado if you live in the green areas today, um, and have your tornado shelter plan in place in case a tornado threatens your area. Looking at the damaging wind threat today, we have a 15% chance of damaging straight line winds of 58 miles per hour stronger within 25 miles of location across eastern South Carolina, central eastern North Carolina, and southeastern Virginia, as well as southeastern Florida. So make sure you're preparing for scattered damaging wind gusts if you live in these areas today. A 5% damaging wind risk surrounds these areas in the brown. So make sure you're looking out for isolated damaging wind gusts if you live in the brown areas today. And looking at the hail threat today, the hail threat is thankfully going to be minimal, where we only have a 5% chance of quarter-size hail or larger than 25 miles of location across the Carolinas, the eastern central Carolinas, southeast Virginia, as well as southeastern Florida. So make sure you're looking out for some isolated large hail if you live in the two brown areas today. Now, timing out the storms, looking at the HRRR model, the 12Z run for Florida and the Carolinas. Thankfully, I don't. It doesn't look like. Looks like last night's nocturnal tornado threat busted, so we didn't have a big tornado outbreak last night. Thankfully, and now going into today, we could see some remaining supercells spawning some scattered tornadoes across southeastern Florida through this morning. But by the time we go into around noon Eastern time, the tornado threat should be done across southern Florida, thankfully. And looking across the Carolinas for the tornado threat today, the tornado threat is going to last into the afternoon hours across the Carolinas. So we could be seeing some tornadic storms across central North Carolina by 1 p.m. Eastern Time, as well as eastern South Carolina between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. Eastern Time. As the low pressure moves across the area, going into 2 o'clock, we could be seeing a couple of embedded tornadic storms with damaging winds across areas like Raleigh and Wilmington. And going into around 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock, the storms are going to push into southeastern Virginia and towards the Outer Banks of North Carolina, where we could be seeing a couple of scattered tornadoes due to the spin of the low pressure being in the area. But thankfully, I'm not seeing a lot of discrete supercells today, so the tornado threat, it's going to be there, but it's not going to be as high as I otherwise would think due to the storms being clustered in nature. So thanks for watching today's severe weather update. Make sure you're preparing for a couple of tornadoes if you live in southeastern Florida this morning, as well as the eastern Carolinas during the noon and early afternoon, as well as some damaging wind gusts, as I do think we could be seeing some damaging wind gusts across these areas over the next several hours. Thanks for watching today's severe weather update. Stay safe. Have a wonderful day, my friends.